Hello, my fellow survivors. How are you guys doing today? I am doing well. I woke up in pretty good spirits today. I feel good. So I decided to come on here and do another video. God has guided me to do this video. I was thinking about last night, last night I was like, what can I talk about today? And I came across this video of this woman talking about how narcissists are made and how they're created in childhood. And it really sparked up an interest in mine. And I was like, I think I want to talk a little bit about that. Yeah, so today we're going to talk about a little bit about how narcissists are made through childhood and, certain parenting styles that may cause this kind of personality to a person. And it's very interesting. And, I'm not no expert or whatever, but, God has put in the knowledge in my head to talk about it. So that's what I'm going to talk about. And for anybody that has children like me, these kind of parenting skills we can probably avoid. We're going to avoid this kind of parenting because we want to end narcissism forever. Don't we? I know I do. But yes, we're going to talk about the do's and don'ts of parenting when it comes to making a narcissist. Okay. You want to hear about this mess? Stay tuned. So yeah, this subject really interests me because when you think of somebody that that has it and the ups and downs of their personality, you will wonder how does somebody get like this? How. And before I go on with the story, everybody does have narcissistic traits. Yes, that's in everybody. That is true. Me, you, everybody has the traits. So I'm not trying to act like I'm just too good. I know everybody has narcissistic traits, but when you're a full-blown narcissist suffering from NPD that should be diagnosed, that's two totally different things. But everybody do have the traits, But what makes a full-blown narcissist? It does stem from childhood. That's what I have found out. I'm trying to say so much. Forgive me. But the lady that I excuse me. So when you hyper focus only on a child's achievements and appearance, and don't really teach them any emotional values, just being a good person, teaching them manners, and not just teaching them it, but just letting them know that, being a good person will get you far. If you're only focusing on them being groomed, there's nothing wrong with making sure your kids look good. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you are teaching them that when you go out in that world, you got to make sure that your hair is groomed, you got these clothes, make sure that when people see you, they see money. When you only focus on that in a small child, as they get older, that's all they're going to care about. They're not going to care about morals. They're not going to care about being a good person. Those things are, yeah, so the term that I was looking for before I was interrupted is called overpraise. When you overpraise your child, it could be damaging because the only time they get that big confidence boost is when they've done something that you consider to be just amazing, And there's nothing wrong with, acknowledging your child's achievements. There's nothing wrong with that. But when the only time a child gets any kind of attention, any kind of just gratitude or anything, is when they've done something that you consider to be amazing. You're teaching your child that that's the only thing important in life is achievements. When you don't praise your child for just simply sharing or saying please or sharing with their brother, being a good person, if they give, for example, my kids, when I see my kids giving their sister a kiss and I didn't tell them to, they're, oh, that's so good of you, you're such a good brother, when you don't do things like that, and it's only when they've done something just at a high to you, that's the only time they ever get any kind of praise, as they grow up. That's the only thing that's important to them. They don't know anything about being a good person. They don't know anything about morals. They don't know anything about just being nice. All they know is outer appearance. All they know is looking good on the outside, but the inside is just dead because they've never been taught anything. that has to do with inner beauty. Okay, so not only does overpraising your child can cause MPD, but also underpraising them can cause MPD as well. I have learned that when you don't show your child any kind of emotional fulfillment, it's not good. And I understand, like, some parents, you know, they didn't get that from their parents, so a simple hug to them is just, that's nothing. A hug, what the hell is a damn hug? You know, I'm paying all these damn bills, you coming to me about a damn hug? You know, that's how some parents is. But a hug can go a long way. It can go a long way. You know, material things, that those things are great, you know, but it does not compare to someone giving you emotions, because emotions are authentic. When you're giving people emotional support, that's coming from somewhere deep in you. When you're just buying somebody a phone or something, just something materialistic, that's easy. It don't take nothing. It don't take a thought, you know. When you're going up to somebody, telling them, I love you, and giving them a hug and saying, I love you, baby, you know, you're such a good girl, or whatever, if you have a little girl. Those things come a long way. When you shower your children with hugs and kisses and words of affirmation and play with them, those things come a long way. It cannot compare to anything material. It just doesn't compare. You know, and of course material things matter. I mean, you know, clothes, shoes, those matter, but they don't compare to authentic love. It just doesn't compare. Yeah, so right now I'm not even really speaking about anybody specific. I'm just sharing the knowledge that I have learned about MPD, period. So I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm not talking about anybody specific in this video. Like, I know I usually talk about my ex-husband or whatever, but I'm not talking about him today. I'm just talking about MPD, period. But yes, it is really hard to love somebody that has it, because especially if I'm just gonna say it, if they're, in my case, like a man, you know, and I'm not talking about my ex, but just a man that has it, period, that has issues with their parents, and let's just say a mother, you know, it's when you are becoming a wife to a man that has it, and they didn't get that kind of love from their mother, the love that you're giving them, they didn't get it from their mother, they don't even know how to handle it. They're just like, they've never had authentic love before, ever. So what you're giving them, they can't appreciate it because they didn't even get it from their mama. So they're just like, you know, they're just taking you for granted. They're just going on with the flow. They're not really taking in what you're giving. They're definitely taking it, but they're not taking it in, you know. So they do tend to take people that love them for granted because they didn't get that kind of love from their parents. So what they're getting is new to them. They're used to, like, they're just used to toxicity, low vibrational people. They're not used to real authentic love. So it's very, very hard to love somebody with that, because they're just giving, and you're not getting, because they've never experienced it. They are used to people showering them with, like, compliments about their outer appearance, and maybe giving them gifts and things like that. But they're not used to a woman that's digging deep in herself to give you love, giving you all of her, and you know, showing you what it's like to have a real partner. They don't know anything about that. So it's really, really hard to love these kind of people, because what you're giving them is a whole new damn world. Okay, so another thing that can happen early on in childhood that can cause somebody to have this kind of personality is that they are dealing with inconsistent caregivers. Whether it can be mom, dad, auntie, whoever raised them, they're not very consistent. They're in and out of their lives. That early attachment that you have to somebody that is supposed to take care of you, like a mother, you know, when you're young, that's all you know. You don't have a bunch of support. All you know is your mom and your daddy. So when that person that you have that early childhood attachment to is inconsistent and is in and out of your life, that's very traumatizing. That's very, very traumatizing, especially to a young mind. Yeah, so when the caregiver that you have that early attachment to is inconsistent in your life and just in and out, and especially emotionally, they're not very emotional. They're not giving you their all emotionally because they may have something going on in their life. You know, that does happen. You may have a family, say, if you're used to a two-parent household, and all of a sudden the family breaks up, and the parents are having issues communicating with one another, and causing the parents to just not really be there emotionally for their children due to their own trauma. That can cause trauma to the child. It definitely can cause trauma to the child, for sure. So when a young child is dealing with that kind of trauma early on, that's causing early childhood trust issues, and it prolongs as they get older. They start to not really develop healthy attachment styles. They tend to avoid any kind of sincere connection because the connection that was the most sincere, that was supposed to be the most sincere, the most fulfilling as a childhood, is the ones that you have with your caregivers. That was already shifted and was already started out just not very well due to trauma. So as they get older, their attachment styles is avoidant. They avoid any emotional stability. As they get older, the people that actually do come in their lives and love them, they can't appreciate it because they've learned to be on guard at an early age. So their attachment styles is avoidance. They will be with you and act like they with you, but they're really avoiding any kind of real connection on the low. Like, they're doing it and you don't even know they're doing it. Okay. I am trying to do this video and raise kids at the same time, but yeah. But yes, I believe that's also why narcissistic people wear masks around different crowds. They try to blend in with any crowd that they feel they're going to get that ego boost and that praise, because as a child they learn to become whoever their parents wanted them to be, so that they can get that love, that boost, the high praise that I was talking about in the beginning. For an example, you may have sometimes you have those parents that try to force their child to do things like, say, piano lessons or whatever. The child really don't want to do piano, but they do it because they know that that's what their parents like, for an example, something like that. Just wearing a mask to blend in with the crowd to get their ego stroke. Okay, so it is the end of the day. It is going on 9:30. I'm about to put my kids to bed, give them a bath and all that good stuff, and get myself ready for bed. I didn't get a chance to end the video earlier, so I just wanted to come on here and just say some final words. I hope you guys enjoyed those points I made about do's and don'ts of parenting. Like, pretty much the do's and don'ts of parenting styles that can cause a narcissist. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And like I always say, when life takes its course, remember to just breathe. I love you guys and thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. But don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.